Millions of car owners fall for mechanic scams that empty their wallets without them even knowing. But guess what? You're definitely falling for it too, costing you thousands in unnecessary repairs. Before wasting any more money, here's 15 mechanic scams you don't know you're falling for. Save money by not skipping. The last tip will definitely surprise you. Let's dive in.
Scam number 15. Unnecessary transmission flushes. Maintenance shops are notorious for pushing transmission flushes as preventative maintenance. But here's the truth. Most cars don't need their transmission fluid flushed until 60,000 to 100,000 miles, if ever. These mechanics prey on your fear by showing you dark fluid and claiming your transmission will die without immediate flushing. Here's what most people don't know. The reality is that transmission fluid gets darker with age, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Your owner's manual specifically states when transmission service is needed, and it's rarely as often as these shops claim. If your fluid isn't burnt smelling or filled with metal particles, you probably don't need this service. Here's the kicker. What makes this scam particularly profitable is that transmission flushes cost 2 to 3 times more than a simple drain and fill, which is usually all that's needed. But here's the shocking part. Some manufacturers like Mazda actually warn that flushes can damage your transmission by forcing debris into sensitive internal components that should be left alone. Speaking of unnecessary services that cost you big time, this next scam happens at nearly every oil change, and you've probably fallen for it multiple times. Scam number 14. Air filter upsells. During oil changes, walk into any mechanic place and they'll inevitably pop your hood, pull out your air filter, and dramatically show you how filthy it is. They'll claim your engine is choking on dirty air and you need a replacement immediately. Then quote you $30 to $50 for a filter you could buy for $8 at any auto parts store. Here's what they don't tell you. Unless your filter is completely black or falling apart, it's probably fine. Air filters are designed to get dirty. That's literally their job. But here's the fascinating part. A slightly dirty filter actually filters better than a brand new one because the dirt particles help trap smaller contaminants. Pro tip: the installation process takes about 2 minutes and requires 0 tools on most vehicles. You can easily do this yourself by popping open the airbox, lifting out the old filter, and dropping in the new one. Let me explain why this is so simple. The entire process is simpler than changing a light bulb, yet shops charge premium labor rates for this basic service. Trust me, this next scam is even more infuriating because it preys on your safety concerns while lightening your wallet. Scam number 13. Brake scare tactics. Nothing gets you to open your wallet faster than a mechanic telling you your brakes are dangerous and need immediate replacement. This scam works because nobody wants to risk their family's safety, so customers rarely question brake repair recommendations even when they're completely unnecessary. Here's what you need to know. Many shops will show you worn brake pads that still have thousands of miles left in them. Here's the trick. Another variation involves claiming your entire braking system needs replacement when only the pads need changing. They'll tell you the rotors are warped when they just need resurfacing, or claim your brake fluid is contaminated when it just looks dark from normal aging. These unnecessary additions can triple your repair bill. Always ask to see the worn parts and get a second opinion if the repair seems extensive, especially if your brakes were working fine when you brought the car in. You'd be very much surprised by this next scam because it involves something that sounds absolutely essential for your engine's health. Scam number 12. Engine flush services. Mechanics love to sell engine flushes by claiming they'll clean out harmful deposits and extend your engine's life. But this service is almost never necessary and can actually damage your engine. Engine flushes are unnecessary upsells that prey on your desire to take good care of your car. Here's something you probably don't know. Modern engines and oils are designed to prevent harmful buildup when maintained properly. If you've been changing your oil regularly with quality oil, your engine doesn't need flushing. But here's what most people don't know. The deposits that form in well-maintained engines actually serve as gaskets and seals in older, high-mileage vehicles. Let me tell you why this is dangerous. When you flush these deposits away, you can create leaks where none existed before. The cleaning chemicals can also loosen debris that gets stuck in oil passages, potentially causing catastrophic engine damage.
Here's how it works. It's like power washing the inside of your engine when a gentle cleaning would suffice. Pro tip, that'll blow your mind. Most automotive engineers will tell you that if your engine is dirty enough to need flushing, it's probably too late to save it anyway. Good maintenance prevents problems. Expensive flushes don't fix neglect. Save your money and stick to regular oil changes with quality oil instead of falling for this expensive band-aid solution. This next scam is so common that most drivers think it's actually required maintenance, but it's costing you hundreds of dollars unnecessarily. Scam number 11. Premium oil changes. When regular oil works fine, walk into most service centers and they'll immediately try to upsell you to synthetic or high mileage oil, even when your car runs perfectly fine on conventional oil. They'll claim synthetic oil will make your engine run better, last longer, or improve your gas mileage. But most of these benefits are greatly exaggerated for normal driving conditions. Here's the truth. If your owner's manual doesn't specifically require synthetic oil, conventional oil will protect your engine just as well for normal driving. But here's the kicker. Synthetic oil costs 2 to 3 times more than conventional. But unless you're racing or towing heavy loads in extreme conditions, you're not getting proportional benefits for the extra cost. Let me explain why this targets older cars. The high mileage oil scam is particularly egregious because they target older car owners who are worried about their vehicle's longevity. While high mileage oil can help with minor leaks, it's not necessary unless you're actually experiencing problems. Here's what you need to know. Many perfectly healthy engines get this expensive oil unnecessarily. Speaking of upsells that seem helpful but drain your cash, this next scam involves something every car needs, but not nearly as often as they claim. Scam number 10.
The coolant flush scam.
Mechanics routinely recommend coolant flushes every 2 years or 30,000 miles when most modern vehicles can go 100,000 miles or more between coolant changes. They'll show you discolored coolant and claim it's acidic or contaminated, but coolant naturally changes color as it ages without becoming harmful to your engine. But here's the real secret. The flush process itself is often unnecessary overkill for what should be a simple drain and refill. They'll charge you for expensive equipment and chemicals to power flush your cooling system, when a basic coolant exchange would accomplish the same result for half the price. Here's the trick they use. Some shops even claim that mixing different types of coolant will damage your engine, when in reality, most modern coolants are compatible with each other. They use this fear to justify expensive flushes and premium coolant that your car doesn't actually need. Check your manual and stick to the manufacturer's schedule, not the service center's profit-driven recommendations. This next scam might shock you because it involves one of the simplest maintenance items on your entire vehicle. Scam number 9.
Cabin air filter panic.
Service centers love to dramatically pull out your cabin air filter and show you how disgusting it is, claiming it's affecting your health and air conditioning performance. They'll charge you $25 to $40 for a filter that costs $8 at any auto parts store and takes 30 seconds to replace. Let me explain the reality. Cabin air filters are supposed to get dirty. That's proof they're doing their job. Unless the filter is completely black or falling apart, it doesn't need immediate replacement. Here's something you probably don't know. Most cabin air filters can go 15,000 to 25,000 miles without problems, despite what service centers claim. Here's the kicker. This scam is particularly profitable because they can sell both the inflated price filter and charge labor for a job that literally takes longer to document than to perform. Don't let them scare you with dirty filters. Check your owner's manual for the actual replacement schedule and do this simple job yourself. Scam number 8.
Timing belt replacement deception.
This scam is particularly nasty because timing belt failure can indeed destroy your engine, making customers eager to pay whatever it takes to avoid catastrophe. However, many modern cars use timing chains instead of belts, and chains are designed to last the entire life of the vehicle. But here's the shocking part. Even cars that do have timing belts don't need replacement as frequently as some shops claim. Timing belts typically last 60,000 to 100,000 miles, but shops often recommend replacement at 40,000 or 50,000 miles to increase their profit margins while playing on your fears about engine damage. But if you think that's wasteful, wait until you see what this common fluid service is doing to your bank account. Scam number 7. Power steering fluid scams. Mechanics often claim your power steering fluid needs changing based on its color or smell, but power steering fluid rarely needs replacement unless there's an actual leak or contamination. This service is pure profit for shops because power steering systems are mostly sealed and don't contaminate their fluid under normal conditions. Here's the trick. They'll show you dark or slightly discolored fluid and claim it's burnt or acidic. But power steering fluid naturally darkens with age without losing its effectiveness. Unless the fluid smells burnt or contains visible metal particles, it's probably fine for thousands more miles. Here's what you need to know. The markup on power steering fluid is enormous because most customers don't know how much it should cost. Shops charge premium prices for fluid that costs them a few dollars. $10, and they add labor charges for a service that takes 10 minutes to perform. If you're getting value from this countdown of mechanic scams that are draining your wallet, now's the perfect time to hit that like button. We've got 6 more incredible scams that could save you thousands in unnecessary repairs, and you won't want to miss the #1 scam that almost every driver still falls for. Scam number 6.
Spark plug replacement. Frequency lies.
Modern spark plugs are designed to last much longer than service centers would have you believe. They'll recommend replacement every 30,000 miles when platinum and iridium plugs are designed to last 100,000 miles or more. This premature replacement costs you money without providing any benefit to your vehicle. Here's something you probably don't know. The old copper spark plugs from decades ago did need frequent replacement, but today's advanced materials last much longer while maintaining consistent performance. Service centers prey on outdated knowledge to sell unnecessary replacements that pad their profit margins significantly. Let me explain why this doesn't help. They'll claim that new spark plugs will improve your gas mileage or engine performance, but if your current plugs aren't misfiring, replacement won't provide noticeable benefits. Here's how it works. Modern engine management systems compensate for minor spark plug wear, maintaining consistent performance until the plugs are truly worn out.
You'd be very much surprised by this next scam.
Scam number 5.
Bait and switch pricing.
This classic scam starts with an advertised low price for common services like oil changes or brake jobs, but once your car is in the shop, they discover additional problems that inflate your bill dramatically. They count on you feeling trapped since your car is already there and partially disassembled. Here's how it works. The initial low price is designed to get you through the door, but it only applies to the most basic service possible. They'll claim your car needs premium oil, special filters, or additional repairs that weren't included in the advertised price. By the time they're done adding necessary services, your bill can be triple the advertised amount. But here's the shocking part. Some shops will even start work before getting your approval for additional services, then present you with a fait accompli when you come to pick up your car. They know most people will pay rather than argue or seek legal recourse over automotive repairs. Here's the solution. The best defense against bait and switch pricing is to get everything in writing before any work begins. Ask specifically what's included in the advertised price and what additional costs might arise. If they can't give you a firm estimate up front, find another shop that practices transparent pricing. This next scam is even more insidious because it involves the actual quality of parts they install in your vehicle. Scam number 4.
Used parts sold as new.
Some dishonest mechanics will charge you for new parts, but actually install used or remanufactured components, pocketing the difference as pure profit. This scam is particularly hard to detect because most customers don't know what new parts should look like or how to verify their authenticity. Let me explain why this is so profitable. The markup between used and new parts can be enormous, especially for expensive components like alternators, starters, or air conditioning compressors. Shops can buy used parts for a fraction of new part prices, then charge you full retail while claiming they're installing new components. Here's what you need to know. Counterfeit parts are another variation of this scam, where shops install cheap, knockoff components that look similar to genuine parts, but lack the quality and durability of authentic components. These fake parts often fail prematurely, leading to repeated repairs and additional costs. Here's the solution. Always ask to see the old parts that were removed and the packaging from new parts that were installed. Legitimate shops should be happy to show you what was replaced and provide documentation of the parts used. If they refuse or seem evasive about showing you parts, that's a major red flag. If that scam blew your mind, wait until you hear about this deceptive practice involving unnecessary component replacement. Scam number 3.
CV joint boot replacement racket.
This scam involves claiming your CV joint boots are torn and need immediate replacement to prevent expensive CV joint failure. While torn CV boots should eventually be replaced, many shops exaggerate the urgency and overcharge dramatically for this relatively simple repair. Let me explain what CV boots actually do. CV joint boots are rubber covers that protect the constant velocity joints from dirt and moisture. When they tear, it's not an immediate emergency, but shops will claim your CV joints will be destroyed within days if you don't pay for immediate replacement. This fear-mongering gets customers to authorize expensive repairs unnecessarily. Here's the trick they don't want you to know. The actual repair is often simpler than shops make it seem. Many CV boot tiers can be repaired with inexpensive split boots that don't require disassembling the entire CV joint. However, shops prefer to sell you complete CV joint replacement, which costs 5 to 10 times more than a simple boot repair. But here's the shocking part. Some unscrupulous mechanics will even deliberately damage CV boots during routine inspections to create problems that weren't there before. Always ask to see the damaged boot and get a second opinion if the repair seems expensive or urgent, especially if your vehicle wasn't making any CV joint noises before the inspection. Here's something you probably don't know.
CV joint boots can last 100,000 miles or more in normal driving conditions, yet some shops will claim they need replacement every 60,000 miles during routine maintenance. They'll show you minor surface cracking that's completely normal for rubber components and claim it's a safety issue that requires immediate attention. This premature replacement schedule is designed to generate recurring revenue from the same repair. Pro tip that'll blow your mind. You can actually inspect your own CV boots by looking under your car near the wheels. They're the black rubber accordion-like covers near your axles. If you can see the boot and it's not obviously torn with grease leaking out, you probably don't need immediate replacement. Many shops count on customers never actually seeing the damaged parts they're claiming need replacement. But here's the real kicker. The labor time shop's quote for CV boot replacement is often inflated by 200–300%. They'll claim the job takes 4 to 6 hours when an experienced mechanic can often complete it in 1 to 2 hours. This labor padding, combined with overpriced parts markup, can turn a $50 repair into a $400+ bill. Always get multiple quotes for CV work, because the price variations between honest and dishonest shops can be staggering.
And speaking of component scams, this next one might be the most expensive mistake of all when dealing with major drivetrain components. Scam number 2, unnecessary transmission replacement. This is perhaps the most expensive scam in automotive repair, where shops claim your transmission needs complete replacement when often only minor repairs or adjustments are needed. Transmission replacement can cost thousands of dollars, making it extremely profitable for dishonest shops. Here's what most people don't know. Many transmission problems that seem major are actually caused by simple issues like low fluid levels, dirty filters, or minor sensor problems. However, shops make more money selling complete transmission replacement than diagnosing and fixing the actual problem, so they often skip proper diagnosis entirely. Let me tell you the truth about remanufactured transmissions. They're often no better than repairing your original transmission, but they charge premium prices for what amounts to used parts with minimal refurbishment. Here's the kicker. Some shops even install worse transmissions than what you originally had, leading to repeated problems and additional costs. Here's a pro tip that'll blow your mind. Phone estimates for transmission work are major red flags, because proper diagnosis requires actually inspecting the vehicle. Any shop offering exact quotes over the phone is either guessing or planning to change the price once they have your car, making this a variation of the bait and switch scam.
Here's something that'll shock you. Many transmission failures are actually caused by a simple $50 solenoid or a $30 speed sensor, but shops will claim the entire transmission is shot to justify a $3,000, $5,000 replacement. They'll use scary terms like internal damage and complete failure, when often it's just an electrical component that takes 30 minutes to replace. The diagnostic equipment can pinpoint these exact issues, but dishonest shops ignore the specific codes to push for maximum profit. But here's the trick they don't want you to know. Transmission shops often have quotas and bonuses for selling complete rebuilds versus simple repairs. A mechanic might make $100 commission on a minor repair, but $500 for $1,000 commission on a full replacement, creating a massive incentive to oversell. Some shops even train their staff to automatically recommend replacement for any car over 100,000 miles, regardless of the actual problem. Let me tell you why this gets even worse. The lifetime warranty they offer on replacement transmissions is often worthless because it only covers the transmission itself, not the labor to remove and reinstall it. When that remanufactured transmission fails in 2 years, you're still on the hook for $1,200 in labor costs. Meanwhile, a proper repair of your original transmission might have lasted just as long for a fraction of the cost. Now, the number one scam that everyone is falling for without them knowing, costing them in unnecessary expensive repairs.
And now,
Scam number 1, diagnostic fee fraud.
this is the granddaddy of all mechanic scams because it sets the stage for every other scam on this list. Shops charge you for computerized diagnostics that often involve nothing more than plugging in a basic code reader that costs $20 at any auto parts store. Here's what most people don't know. Modern cars have sophisticated diagnostic systems that store error codes when problems occur, but reading these codes is simple and takes less than 5 minutes. Many auto parts stores will read your codes for free, yet repair shops charge $50 to $150 for this basic service. But here's the real secret. They use the diagnostic fee to justify whatever repairs they want to sell you. They'll claim the computer told them you need extensive repairs, when often the codes just indicate minor issues or temporary glitches that don't require any repairs at all. Here's the shocking part. Even worse, some shops will clear your error codes and claim they fixed the problem, charging you diagnostic fees for doing essentially nothing. If the underlying issue hasn't been addressed, the codes will return, but they've already collected their diagnostic fee for no actual work performed. Let me explain why this gets even worse. Some shops even charge diagnostic fees multiple times for the same visit, claiming they need to re-diagnose after each repair attempt. This can add hundreds of dollars to your bill for repeated 5-minute code readings that should have been included in the original diagnostic fee. Here's the trick they use. The most dishonest variation involves claiming that additional diagnostic fees are needed to dig deeper into complex problems, when often they're just fishing for more billable hours without actually solving anything. Don't pay multiple diagnostic fees for the same problem, and always ask exactly what diagnostic work was performed to justify the charges. If you were able to get valuable information that could save you on expensive, unnecessary repairs, comment down below. Aside from scams, there are actually hacks that helps your car reach 500,000 miles without needing any major repairs. Click this video. Trust me, you won't regret it.